Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, Tekken, the date is finally here. Jotego has had his Capcom CPS 3 core for a while now, but as of this morning he added in support for Capcom Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, by far the best of the three games on the Capcom CPS 3 in the Street Fighter kind of quote-unquote trilogy of releases. And it's one of those things, this game is beloved, everyone knows it, everyone has played it, and we're going to be taking a look at the FPGA core today to tell you guys whether or not it's living up to the hype. But honestly, spoiler alert, this is absolutely incredible and I am stoked that it is here. And if you're wondering, yes, I removed the traditional MiSTer FPGA intro from the videos because I haven't done a lot of MiSTer stuff recently because I've noticed the absolute plummeting stats on all of those videos, and it seems like at least a little bit that intro actually has people clicking off. But honestly, something about FPGA in 2026 just seems to be cooling down a bit. But for a release as big as Third Strike on MiSTer FPGA, you know damn well I'm going to be covering that video and I'm stoked for it. And honestly, even though I prefer the Alpha franchise versus Street Fighter 3 and still think Alpha 3 is the best game Capcom ever made, Third Strike definitely is up there on my list of rankings as well. But I will go into the video telling you right now, I am not a Third Strike expert in any way, shape, or form, so as far as my feedback on how the core is performing is from a very casual standpoint. I have absolutely no idea if all the frame timing windows are perfect. Obviously there's no latency here for MiSTer FPGA, so it should be buttoned up, but we will have to wait for some real professional competitive Street Fighter 3 Third Strike players to actually play this core and provide their feedback, because I have a limited ability to be able to say perfect or not on this one. Before getting much further involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. And because it has been a hot minute since I've done a MiSTer video, leave me a comment and tell me if you guys are still enjoying these things, because it's one of those realities I just noticed basically in like February. The wheels fell off the truck on FPGA, at least for me personally. But again, going back to Third Strike here, absolutely an incredible game with some of the best 2D animations that Capcom ever produced, and it is absolutely pushing MiSTer to its limit as far as actual arcade ROM size is concerned. This thing is close to 80 megabytes that you're going to be loading in, so when you first start the core, definitely give it 15-20 seconds to get that entire file actually loaded into RAM before it's going to play. But once you get to that point in time, I had absolutely no issues playing it, capturing it, no issues with the visuals outside of one line of pixels in the sky in one stage when I actually did an uppercut with Dudley. So it really is very hard to point out anything that I would say needs improvement. The only thing, like I said earlier, I noticed is the audio slightly hot, at least on my MiSTer. I did turn the core volume down a little bit, but it seems like maybe that volume could be adjusted in the core ever so slightly. But if you take a look at all the animations here, the fluidity in them, absolutely no issues whatsoever. Everything looks exactly like it should, and that is a testament to Jotego and his team and just how good they are at actually making all these cores. And now, as of today, with Third Strike's implementation on something like MiSTer FPGA, we have every single Capcom CPS game on MiSTer. Capcom CPS, CPS2, and CPS3. And that is absolutely wild. I love to see just how much progress has been truly made on this. And I've said in previous videos, Capcom CPS3 hardware absolutely sucks to own. If you don't modify it, if you don't repair it, it is going to break. It is not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I sold my CPS3 boards probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago, just because I didn't play them all that often, and even though I had repaired them, I knew this was coming and I figured I'm not going to take the boards out of the closet anymore. And now that day is here today if you're a Patreon member of Jotego, because it is still in beta, but of course those things usually come off beta relatively quickly, so if you don't have that Patreon key, it'll definitely be available to you shortly. But you tell me down below, of all of the Street Fighter games, which one is your favorite, and of all of the Street Fighter 3 games, which one do you gravitate towards? For me personally, obviously, Third Strike is the winner here. And it's not like we don't have other ways to play this game, but getting the Capcom CPS3 original is amazing. And if you didn't notice, there was that one straight line of pixels in the sky there is Dudley uppercutted Ibuki into the air. But that was really the only thing I observed the entirety of my playthrough that I would say was not correct. Let's go into the first or two soundtrack samples, because obviously the audio has to sound good for this to be good, and I'll be right back with more.
You win.
You have no dignity.
Fighters ready. Engage.
mean, it sounds like Street Fighter 3 to me, and Yang Stage there always feels like it's a bit out of a James Bond movie. I could totally see that track being in something like a Japanese or even Chinese area in one of the James Bond films. But as Chung-Li absolutely beats this car up when we remember that somebody at Capcom has something against motor vehicles. Again, it's responsive, it's fast, I'm able to pull off the moves I remember, and again, not an expert at the game, but I'm having fun with it. And that really is what it comes down to. Whether or not you're going to be able to have fun with this one, you absolutely can. Now, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what the competitive scene thinks about this core release and how Jotego cleans it up for whatever it needs in the future, because that really is something. The competitive scene with Capcom CPS3 boards, it takes a lot to keep them alive. And I know some of the MiSTer FPGA arcade cores and the Capcom CPS2 side of things have been used for tournaments, and that's always the goal, to get a one-to-one recreation of the hardware in FPGA code. That way it can be used competitively, because if the competitive scene adopts it and says it's good, then that means casuals like you and I are definitely going to have a very good time with it. And this is just, again, such a pretty game. Even if I still think that SNK still made the best fighting game of the generation, Giro Mark of the Wolves, I would say this is definitely a close second or third in my opinion. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments about that down below, so you tell me, SNK or Capcom. I would be really curious. Maybe just because I grew up playing more Neo Geo games, and I definitely collect more Neo Geo stuff than I do Capcom arcade hardware. My heart kind of lies there. But honestly, at this point in time, I have sold all my Capcom CPS 2, 3, and original CP stuff just because I don't really have a need for it anymore with MiSTer FPGA. And that really is something that I appreciate, because I only have a limited amount of space. I live in Chicago, and you know I love collecting arcade boards. So when MiSTer has something that is absolutely perfect, and I don't need to take that arcade board out of the closet anymore, inevitably I sell it on and then buy something even bigger and stupider, so I have more space for everything. And Dudley there just absolutely whiffed that uppercut special, was not paying much attention to the actual block on Remy's side of things. But that really is the fun thing about Capcom CPS3 games in general, fighting games in general, and Street Fighter 3rd Strike. You get to learn them, and if you haven't played this game in a long time or ever, trust me, it's going to take a long time to get quote-unquote good at the game, but it definitely is worth it. And that really is the fun part about a fighting game feedback loop. You're going to go in, you're going to be trash, then you're going to get better at it. And don't forget, you might want to adjust some of the dip switch settings around, because by default, once you get past like round 5 or 6, the CPU is absolutely going to beat you in the back alley and leave you for dead like you owe it a lot of money. But again, maybe you're an expert at this game and you can tell me, if you played it already on MiSTer, how are you seeing it so far? And you can tell all the animations in the background, all the artwork, all the colorways, extremely accurate. Now, I don't have a Capcom CPS3 board anymore to compare them side by side, but I know, having played this game a bunch, this looks like it should, it plays like it should, and it sounds like it should. And honestly, for the 3 criteria of a good FPGA core, that's absolutely what we need. The look, the feel, and the sound are all there, outside of that one line of stray pixels I mentioned earlier, and I'm sure that will get cleaned up shortly. Let's do one more soundtrack sample so you can catch the vibes one more time, and I'll be right back with a little bit more 3rd Strike fun for everyone.
Into the heat of battle. Go for it.
So it definitely sounds, again, just like Street Fighter 3 3rd Strike should to me, but you leave me a comment down below. And I can't stress enough, and I know I don't usually say I hate things, but I hate the Capcom CPS3 hardware. It's expensive, it's annoying, it's fiddly, it loves to break, and it really is expensive to keep the thing running. And now I even know this is a big day for Street Fighter fans. It's also a big day for arcade preservation on the Capcom side of things. Jotego and his team gave us every single Capcom CPS game ever made on the hardware, Capcom CPS 2 and 3, and that is absolutely a massive milestone, because these were some of the most fun games in the arcades back in the day, and now we have every single title working on MiSTer, and that is in no way, shape, or form a small task whatsoever. It is a monumental feat. I'm stoked that we're able to say that. And like I said, if you want to see some more MiSTer videos, I have made some, just haven't aired them yet, but I just don't know why all of a sudden the topic became very unpopular in 2026. And trust me, it's not just me. I talked to some other makers in the space, and they saw the exact same thing. But short of that, we're done. Go update your MiSTer right now, so long as you have update all set to bring down the Jotego beta cores and key, and you'll be playing Third Strike tonight, and trust me, it is an amazing time. But short of that, we're done. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.